Now, brothers, sisters, and non-binary family, we're gathered here today because we recognize the urgency and the need for bold grassroots organizing. We recognize the need to organize, both at the national scale, but locally as well. Whether it is fighting against any proposal for fossil fuel development in our backyard, such as an expansion of the port, or whether it is ensuring that we maintain green spaces that are valuable, especially to some of our most vulnerable communities. And at the same time, making the investments necessary to support the needs of working people while working towards a future that is decarbonized. And as much as we see Rhode Island as a blue haven of democratic policies and democratic politicians, we have to recognize that there is still a need to push our politicians to be bold. Just earlier this week, Governor Dan McKee unveiled this year's proposed budget. And let's talk about what it did not include. It did not include the necessary funding to keep RIPTA going. We are looking at a $32 million deficit for our Rhode Island Public Transportation Authority. And that means a reduction of bus services. That means bus drivers being laid off. That means the insufficient funding to ensure that we get to a place where public transportation is seen as a reliable resource for everyone, free of cost. And these are the bold ideas that we have to advocate for, because they are not going to happen naturally at the State House. They're not going to happen naturally at City Hall. They're going to happen when the movement of diverse community members come together and advocate for these changes. Take a moment now to look around, because what you will see are folks that stand hand to hand with you. People of different ages, different backgrounds, all coming together because we recognize the importance of fighting for climate justice. Because we recognize that, yes, we have a threat at the national level between Trump and his cronies. But at the same time, we also know that our advocacy can take us so much further when we organize here amongst our neighbors, between the chambers of City Hall, between the walls of the State House. And so I'm going to implore all of us to continue showing up at the front lines, even when it's below 20 degrees, because we care. Because we're going to make sure that our voices are heard when it comes down to the state budget and they're debating on whether or not to fund RIPTA. We're going to make sure that the City Planning Commission recognizes why it's so damn important that we no longer poison our communities in South Providence. So I have to ask, are we ready to organize? Are we ready to organize? So between today, the day after, the week after, and every month that follows over the next several years, we are going to continue showing up and telling our politicians that these interests, the people's interests, are the interests that they must listen to. Not those of the wealthy, not those of corporations, not those trying to expand their profits, but the working people who depend on the bus. The working people depend on affordable utilities. And together, we are going to ensure that we get there. Thank you.